Pastor Jason here. We're reading through the Bible this year, and this week you're in the book of Job. So I wanted to show you a few things to look for as you're reading through the book. I love this book. It has so much poetry, dense poetry in it. Some people find it a difficult book. It is one of the longer books of the Bible. It has a few characters. Job is the main character. He's got a few friends that he's having a discussion with as you're going through the book. But you're introduced in the first couple chapters to Job, this guy who just honors God. He loves God. He's a righteous man. And then as the reader, you're transported into the heavenly realms as you're watching this conversation take place between God and Satan. Satan as the accuser, the adversary, the prosecutor, just leveling all these accusations against Job and saying, the only reason he follows you, that's what he's saying to God. He's saying, the only reason Job follows you is because you bless him and you protect him. If you took that blessing away and that protection away from Job, he would turn from you and he wouldn't follow you anymore. And so God allows Job to undergo suffering and hardship in the book to show just what a man of integrity he is in this story of redemption that you're going to see in it. But from the very beginning of the book, you as the reader know more than the characters in the book that they're learning throughout the story. So you're observing, you're in this observation room as you're reading through the book, and you're watching Job undergo this suffering and hardship. When you get to chapters 3 to 31, and even 32 to 37, you're seeing these conversations take place between Job and his friends. Job's got a few friends, and so Job will say something, and then one of the friends will say something. Then Job says something, and so forth. This is cycle, this narrative framework of the book. And the friends are essentially saying, Job, if you're wise and righteous and good, then suffering's not going to happen to you. But when you sin, bad things happen. So you must have sinned. You must have done something wrong, and that's why you're going through all this hardship. And Job is responding by saying, I don't know what I've done wrong and sin to cause all this hardship and suffering to happen in my life. And so he's denying that, and the friends are saying, no, it's because you've done something wrong. And Elihu in chapters 32 to 37, he's another friend that comes in and just says, yeah, I agree with these other friends. You must have done something wrong. And then this wrestling of this question of why does suffering happen, right? Why does hardship happen in this world? Why do bad things happen? And then Job gets an audience with God, a hearing before the Lord in chapters 38 to 41. And what's interesting about it is God responds, but it's not in the way that you would expect. And I'm sure not the way Job expected, because God starts to talk about creation. He starts to ask questions of Job, like, were you there when I laid the foundations of the earth? Were you there when I was setting the constellations in place? Do you know where lightning comes from? Do you even know how the weather works? Have you ever sat down with a mountain lion? And he just starts talking about creation, and you might wonder why God is doing that. Well, I think he's saying to Job, you know, this whole world and this whole universe that I'm sustaining with the mystery and wonder of my power. And when I'm at work in the world, you may not understand what I'm doing. And it may be a mystery to you, and it's not because I'm not good. It's not because I'm not just. It's because you don't understand. And I see that in Job's response is he's so humble about it that he's just comes before the Lord. I'm sorry, Lord, for stepping out of bounds here. And the world is much larger than I can understand with my finite mind. And he just humbles himself. And then God even says to the friends here, you spoke wrongly about me. Job spoke rightly about me. So essentially, and let me just sum this up, what happens in the book of Job is it may not for you unlock all the puzzle of why God allows suffering and hardship in this world. But what it does show us is that when you're in the midst of it, when you're in the midst of suffering and hardship and pain and hurt, how do you, like Job, respond to it? and that you can, like Job, speak honestly to the Lord. You can process that. Sometimes you're going to stomp your feet before the Lord, but the journey is somehow you come to a place of humility and recognize, you know what, God knows more than I do, that He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and that He rules and reigns over the universe, and that even when I don't understand, even when I don't get what happens in this broken place, God is there and He is working. And someday He'll reveal that. But in the meantime, I'm just going to humble myself and trust in Him. Anyways, hope that helps as you're reading through the book. We'll see you next time. God bless.